Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, as you guys can see, shout out to my man AB Promotions in the comments section. The MAGA Maybach got a flat tire, you know what I'm saying? So M.A.G.A.TRON had to pull it through for some service real quick, you know what I'm saying? But we here. We here, you know what I'm saying? So if you guys can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up or radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear, or if the sound is bad or the visual is looking bad, give me a thumbs down and I will work on it. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who is in the building early, all right? We got Brooklyn Queen 125 in the house. Shout out to her for being a like enforcer. Make sure y'all show her some love. Shout out to John Guillory. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Shout out to Black Spider. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. Shout out to Kiko. What's good with it, bro? We got Hurricane IQ in the building. All right. And we got Greets. And we got, I think I said Black Spider. Shout out to Black Spider. If I didn't say shout out to you. And we got Greets. And shout out to my man DeAndre for being a like enforcer as well. All right. Make sure y'all show DeAndre some love. Shout out to Catsy. What's good with it, Catsy? All right. So if you guys haven't, please take a moment, smash that like button. If you haven't shared the stream, make sure you guys share the stream. Also, when the bots put the link to the M.A.G.A.TRON Twitter in the chat, it's extremely important. Please make sure that you guys follow the M.A.G.A.TRON Twitter, and also make sure that you are subscribed to the Discord channel. Shout out to Lloyd Sky 9. I didn't see Lloyd Sky 9 up in here. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, shout out to Lloyd Sky 9. I almost forgot him. Good looking, Hurricane. Shout out to Lloyd Sky 9. What's good with you, bro? So Trump is giving N.A.T.O and Nikki the blues. Man, he going in on Nikki Haley, man. He's going in on Nikki Haley. Now, Nikki Haley is already going in on herself, right? Because she's in denial. Like, I don't know what it is that she's waiting for. Oh, we're gonna talk about it, Catsy. I think we're talking about the same thing. We're gonna talk about it. But man, she's delusional. Why do she should be out? If the Republicans were actually unified, right, in the way that they should be, assuming, you know what I'm saying, there's Republican unification means anything, right? Nikki Haley don't have a chance in hell to win. She should stop wasting resources and just call it a day. Call it a day. Now, that's interesting, Catsy. Shout out to Catsy. Catsy said he would be violating Article 5 if he did that. And that's facts. DeAndre said y'all gonna pay what y'all owe. Facts. That's basically what Trump said. He said y'all gonna pay what y'all owe, or else I'm turning y'all over to the wolves. I don't know. I'm almost certain that you might feel that way, but I don't know if that's really a good idea to just say like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if that's the way that you want to go about things. But then again, we're dealing with M.A.G.A.TRON. You know what I'm saying? So as you guys can see, Nikki Haley's got her grown woman serious business face on because she's upset. She's upset. She's sick to her stomach. It made me sick to my stomach. So according to this, Nikki Haley excoriates Donald Trump over his N.A.T.O comments. All right. So we're going to listen to this and see what she had to say about the N.A.T O comments. Now, you guys know Nikki Haley, she wants all of these wars. She's a neocon. She sits there and says that she doesn't, but she does. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, that's what I thought. Shout out to Catsy. Now, Catsy said yes, but Article 5 states that if a N.A.T O country is attacked, we are obligated to defend that N.A.T O country. Now, here's my thing. The only thing that I can think of is that basically Trump is basically saying we're probably not going to continue being a part of N.A.T O if you don't pay. And if you don't pay, your obligation, then we're not gonna do our obligation. I don't know how that would go over. I don't know how that would go over. I don't think that I want to find out either. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I just, that would be nice if it was something that just kind of just blew over. You know what I'm saying? Let's check out what Pippi Longfingers has to say, shall we?
Now, we all know people in the military. Our number one job is to prevent war, always. My husband's a combat veteran. He deployed in Afghanistan. The last thing we want is our loved ones to go to war.
See, like, and listen, man, hold on real quick, y'all. If you're Nikki Haley, don't reference your husband. Stop doing that. Stop. Because you just opening yourself up. For you just opening yourself up for the attack. Like, just leave your husband out of it. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, just Nikki, just stop with it. And that's what I think the strategy is, Kiko. I honestly believe that. I believe that Nikki Haley's strategy is to wait for Trump to go to prison. You know what I'm saying? If you guys agree with Kiko, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And I gotta agree with Lloyd Sky 9. So disingenuous. She's such a flake. She's such a flake. Oh my God, she's such a flake. I don't want no wars. I just wants my little check from Boeing's. And I wants to make sure that we send money to all of those little countries that are all over in those places that enforce the little rules for us that we got that the other countries don't want to play. But I'm going to sit up here and tell you like a sweet little Southern belle that I don't want no war. Stop. Stop. This is why she gets roasted how she does.
And I look at what Donald Trump said on Saturday, and it made me sick to my stomach.
Did you throw up?
He said that NATO, that if any of those countries aren't paying their fair share, that not only would he not defend them, but that he would encourage Putin to take over them.
I just, real quick, here goes my question. I get it, right? Like, I get it. I understand. And if you're naive, if you're a simp, if you ain't got no game, you might actually believe Nikki Haley. First and foremost, we got to examine the situation. How many of y'all think that Donald Trump is actually serious about that? If you guys believe that Trump is serious about that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't believe that Trump is serious about that, give me a thumbs down. Me personally, and I'm not taking Trump's side, I just don't think that he's serious about that. I don't think that he's serious about it. I think that he said it to get a reaction. I do believe that he's serious about enforcing NATO paying their fair share because he's been consistent with that. He's always felt that we got the bad end of the deal from being a part of NATO. But as far as inviting attacks, he said it. I don't think that anybody's going to bite. I don't think that he said that to non-NATO countries. I think that he said that to the NATO countries to inspire them to start pulling their own weight. But I have to agree with Kiko. I have no idea what he thinks or if he thinks at all. I don't know. Just from my observation. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, exactly. Not a good look. Not a good look. Which is why me personally, I wouldn't have gone about it like that. I wouldn't have gone about it like that. But Donald Trump does lots of stuff that most normal people wouldn't do. Would you guys agree? Can we all agree on that? That most things that Donald Trump are not normal. That most things that Donald Trump does are not normal. They're not normal. He doesn't usually engage in normal person stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Putin kills his opponents. Putin currently has arrested Evan.
The United States kills their opponents. Didn't they? I love doing this. I love it. I love doing this because they love doing this to us so much. The United States deletes its opponents. Would you guys agree? They do too. The United States deletes opponents, foreign and domestic. The United States executive branch of the government deleted or facilitated the deletion of Martin Luther King. They deleted Gaddafi. They deleted Saddam Hussein. They attempted to delete Nicolas Maduro. The United States government deletes their opponents. How many of y'all would agree with that? If y'all agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Gersovich, who's a reporter just for journalism. This guy's a thug. He invaded a pro-American.
They've been calling Putin. I might have to do some AI art with the thug version of Putin. Yeah, Malcolm X, Hugo Chavez, facts. The papers came out from New York that show that there was FBI involvement in the Malcolm X assassination. Shout out to New York State of Mind. Facts. Is it time for some Blacklight Revelations custom art of a quote unquote thug version of Putin? If you and possibly put it on a shirt. If you guys think that it's about time for that to happen, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that it's time for it to happen, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to DC Precise. What's good with it, bro?
Thug. He invaded.
Thug.
As a thug.
I'm sorry, man. Nikki Haley is a cartoon character, man. Shout out to Black Spider. What's good with the Black Spider? Yeah. Facts, DC. Her front zipper won't allow her to shut her Skeletor curry yap up. Yeah, facts. If you guys agree with DC Precise, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Unbelievable.
Evan Gersovich, who's a reporter just for journalism. This guy's a thug. He invaded a pro-American, freedom-loving country with Ukraine. 500,000 people have died and been wounded because of Putin. And you're going to side with that?
They didn't happen to, advance NATO too far east or anything. And there hasn't been a border dispute. How many people remember the situation that happened with Crimea a couple years ago? Crimea River. You guys remember what happened with Crimea? Yeah, exactly. He was actual KGB. You guys remember what happened with Crimea? There's a talk, right? There's a talk of Russia, quote unquote, annexing Crimea. And then there's other talk of Crimea annexing itself. Whatever the case may be, Crimea is no longer part of Ukraine. It is now acknowledged as part of Russia. Okay. What happened when that happened? Does anybody remember? What did the United States do in response to that? What was our reaction? Some people said some things. New president of Ukraine, and that's about it. Let's continue.
NATO has been a success story. For 75 years, we haven't had a war in that region because it's an alliance.
Is that true? If that's true, give me a thumbs up. If that's not true, then give me a thumbs down. Here's my question. As an American person, what material benefit have any of you received or seen or noticed from being a part of NATO, or the United States being a part of NATO? Has there been any? Has there been one?
An alliance that scares Russia. Russia has never invaded a NATO country. They invaded Georgia.
They're so scared that I want you guys to understand Nikki Haley's logic right here. Russia is so terrified of NATO that somehow they're still building nuclear weapons, and somehow Crimea is part of Russia now. That's how terrified Russia is of NATO. Right, Torian facts. Because she's lying again, and she's triggered. She's big triggered. She's big mad.
They invaded Ukraine. They invaded Moldova. All non-NATO countries. They are scared of the alliance. He just put every.
Or here's another thing. They're scared of the alliance, right? Or they're staying within the boundaries of the NATO agreement. That could be it as well. Right? If that's a possibility, give me a thumbs up. If it's not a possibility, give me a thumbs down. Now, here's the thing. Nobody is clean, right? NATO and Russia both go behind each other's back and do shade all day long because neither country is honest. Russia's corrupt as hell, and we all know that the United States and NATO are corrupt. So basically, while she's sitting there calling Russia thugs, Russia might be thugs. They might be pretty thuggish. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that I would sit there and deny. If Russia's thuggish, I mean, what do you call the United States then? If Russia is thuggish, my question is, what's the appropriate term for the United States?
Every military member at risk and every one of our allies at risk just by saying something at a rally like that. That's the danger. And then he goes and mocks my husband's military service.
She's so mad. She's so mad. Look, I want y'all to understand how bad Trump is inside of her head. He's so inside of her head that she can't even talk about her own original ideas. Now she's literally just in a catch-up game of responding to Trump trolling. And this is what I'm saying. This is that stuff that Trump does. And she can't get out of her ego. She can't do it. She cannot do it. It's not possible for her. The whole rest of her campaign is going to be like this. She's going to be constantly chasing Trump trolling instead of actually saying, hey, I'm Nikki Haley. This is what I'm going to offer my constituents. She's not able to do it. So here's my thing. Imagine if she became president. How would she react to somebody like a Kim Jong-un if she can't handle Trump? Yeah, that right there, that's one of the reasons that she's too vulnerable. That's one of the reasons why she's so triggered. And now here goes my thing, right? They got these little, accusations of cheating and, some confessions and stuff like that from these two individuals that came out. My question is, why is it that literally never comes up in the media? That never comes up. It's not something that's discussed really very much at all. Why don't we hear more about that? If that was anybody else, man, we hear about that all damn day. But we never hear about it with her. My question is, why not? Shout out to DSB.
Carolina
What's good with it, bro?
Has always been a pro-American patriotic state. We love our men and women. That's not personal about me and Michael. To me, it was personal because you just bashed every military family. Because if you know...
There it is. He just bashed every military family. That's what he did.
Of a military family, the loved one goes off and serves, but the family sacrifices too. All of us do that. 7 months ago, I dropped my husband off at 4 a.m. for another year-long deployment.
And here go the real question. Where'd you end up afterwards? Where'd you go afterwards? Right, Tori. In facts, this is a super spreader event, a super spreader of SBE and misinformation. Right. She dropped the husband off, took the ring off, put it in a glove box, and went to the jump off spot and got it in. Got it in.
I watched him and 230 soldiers pick up their 2 duffel bags of belongings to go to a country they've never been, all in the name of protecting America. They're willing to sacrifice their lives and their families because they still believe in this amazing experiment that is America. So if they're willing to sacrifice...
So I want y'all to pay very close attention to the language. You guys see, she called America an experiment. We're admitting that it's an amazing, quote unquote, experiment now. That's interesting. Listen, bruh, it's the dramatics. It's the dramatics. It's the flakiness. It's got to sound extra fake and sincere. So there's somebody out there that's gonna be like, man, this woman really cares. No, she doesn't. Shout out to Tedra. Tedra said with the position she's in, she couldn't get her husband out of serving. Oh, she wanted him to be gone. She wanted him to be gone. Because when she's not running for president, her campaign is with champagne at the Holiday Inn.
For us there. Shouldn't we be willing to fight for America here? Because we have a country to save. But when he did that, it was a pattern. It started with the fact that he has continued to call military members suckers and losers. He went to Arlington National Cemetery and said, why did they do this? What was in it for them? You can't have a commander-in-chief that doesn't understand.
We literally did for 4 years. We literally did for 4 years. And what's interesting about it is that there's a large percentage of America, that may not like Trump, may not think Trump was a good president, but would say that he was more stable than the guy who is president now, which is crazy to think about, because if that's the case, what's going on now? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we already had that commander-in-chief. And I know you remember Nikki Haley because you were happily his UN ambassador.
What made this country great? It's the values, it's the sacrifice, it's the freedom. That's what we fight for every day.
It's also the denial of history. The denial of history is one thing that makes the country just even more wonderful for people like Nikki Haley. Would you guys agree? It makes it conveniently amazing for them. We live in the best country in the world that just goes around spreading democracy like a STD, and just, you know, we're just going to be oblivious, and anything that doesn't sound good to us, well, we're just not going to talk about it. Or what we're going to do is call it woke.
Day is freedom. So we have a choice to make.
We have a choice to make. Oh, yes, we do. We have a choice to make. Now, Trump is all in Nikki Haley's head. And it's hilarious. Because how do you not know how to deal with this dude? And you worked directly with him during his presidency. How do you not get it? Trump questions whereabouts of Nikki Haley's husband, Michael, who is serving in the military. He's gone. So Trump is out here saying that her husband is MIA. Not military in action, missing in action. Shout out to Miss Nisi. What's good with it, Miss Nisi? Oh, this is nice. What's up with these undocumented tattoo jail bros? What's going on here? Oh, this is nice. I need to clip this for undocumented bros. Look at this. Hold on real quick. I don't know why this won't stop, but wait a minute. Let's see. Hold on real quick. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Did y'all see that? Look at this real quick. A moment brought to you by your sponsor, Undocumented and Undocumented Bros. Look at this. Threat of gang alliance. A brutal Venezuelan gang is recruiting among new migrants at NYC shelter to join forces with the feared MS-13. An FBI agent has told the Post. That's nice. How many people knew about that? That's, that's the kind of news that you want to wake up and hear every day, right? That's what you guys pay for, YouTube Premium. So that's nice. Yeah, facts. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. We can file that under. We told them. They know that. You know what I'm saying? They know. Let's see what else they're talking about. The agency is concerned that Trendy Aragua, which was behind a spat of brazen phone robberies in the 5 boroughs, might form alliances with existing networks. Duh. Oh, well, look at this. Here's some more news. Joe Biden was looking lost. Is that really news, though? Look how they got him up there. Just got him sitting there, number 2, looking lost. Look at this. A confused-looking President Biden paced back and forth behind King Abdullah II of Jordan on Monday, apparently unsure of where to stand ahead of the royal's remarks. Let's see. Hold on real quick. I missed that one. As Abdullah prepared to speak, the president shuffled around behind him, gazing down at the floor as if looking for a mark indicating the proper place for him to stand. Yo, they be lighting Joe Biden up in the New York Post. Ah, man, the New York Post is out of pocket, man. The New York Post is so damn disrespectful, man. I didn't know about that. Former Dallas Cowboy dead. Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says former President Donald Trump mocked opponent Nikki Haley for not having her husband by her side, ignoring the fact that he's serving in the military overseas. Speaking at a rally in Conway, South Carolina on Saturday, Trump took a jab at Haley while telling a story about meeting the former Palmetto State governor at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Look at this. Look at this. Then she comes over to see me at Mar-a-Lago. Sir, I will never run against you. She brought her husband. Where's your husband? Oh, he's away. Trump ranted. Man, these people crazy, man. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone. He knew, Trump said. Oh, man, Trump crazy, man. Oh, man, Trump wild, man. He said, then she comes over to see me at Mar-a-Lago. She says, sir, I'll never run against you. She brought her husband. Where's your husband? Oh, he's away. Trump ranted. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone. Because he knew. He knew. Man, Trump wild. You know the crowd was going crazy because they're dumb. And Trump was just sitting there eating it up. And Nikki Haley head about to explode like a tomato. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. She's mad as hell. Major Michael Haley, a commissioned officer with the South Carolina National Guard, is currently on a year-long deployment with the 218th Maneuver Enhancement Bridge, which is providing support in the Horn of Africa. Providing support for what in the Horn of Africa? He deployed in June. Not long after Trump's remarks, Haley shot back while talking to voters at a campaign stop in Gilbert, South Carolina. All right, so that's what we just watched. That's the video that we just watched. I'm proud of Michael's service. Every military spouse knows it's a family sacrifice. If you mock the service of a combat veteran, you don't deserve a driver's license, let alone being the president of the United States, Haley said. NBC News reported. Now, what's funny about this, right, is that if you ask me, Nikki Haley and the New York Post, because the New York Post only likes Trump for opportunistic purposes. They're not really a Trump fan. She took what Trump said and turned it into something else, which I find funny, because I think that most normal people that would hear what Trump said would understand that Trump basically is saying you're unrelationshipable and your husband doesn't want to be around you. That's what I got out of it. Is that what you guys got out of it? If you guys got that out of it, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't get that out of it, give me a thumbs down. What I got out of it is you're modern, you're belligerent, you talk too damn much, and you're basically male repellent, which is why your husband's not there, because he knows. That's what I got out of it. I didn't get the quote unquote attack on the military thing, and I think that's Nikki Haley is trying to spin it into that. But that's what I got. Facts. I agree, Katsy. Now, if she had clapback, she could have shot back with, "Where's Melina? My husband is deployed. What's your excuse?" Or another thing that she could have done is she could have picked her nose, and with those leg-length fingers that she has, she could have flicked a lethal booger at Donald Trump and took him completely out of the game. She didn't do either one. She didn't do either one. So here we are. You know what I'm saying? Here we are. She didn't choose strategy A. She didn't choose strategy B. And she could have flicked it at him right here while he's sitting here with his mouth is open, because his mouth is open in every picture. You know what I'm saying? So, you know. Donald, look at this. She said, "Donald, if you have something to say, don't say it behind my back. Get on the debate stage and say it to my face," she said. Haley also bashed Trump on social media. "Michael is deployed, serving our country. Something you know nothing about," Haley tweeted. "Someone who continuously disrespects the sacrifices of military family has no business being commander-in-chief." Now, here goes my question. What about somebody that disrespects their own family by stepping out? What about that? That'd be both of them, right? Shout out to DeAndre. DeAndre says she'd be picking her nose if she put one of them fingers up. If she put one of, or she'd be picking her brain if she put one of them fingers up her nose. Might help her think a little bit better. It might help her think a little bit better. The nice romantic picture of the husband and wife. I wonder how many pictures there are of her with other people like that. So now here says Michael Haley also appeared to throw shade at the ex-president, tagging him in a tweet with a meme that read, "The difference between humans and animals. Animals would never allow the dumbest ones to lead the pack." Well, again, that kind of failed because Donald Trump technically led the pack for 4 years. So what does that say about the people of America? So I'll just let that sit there, let y'all discuss that. Trump also on Saturday claimed that he warned NATO allies that if they didn't pay their dues to the military alliance, that he would encourage Russia to, quote unquote, do whatever the hell they want to them. The 45th president relayed the story while boasting about his negotiating abilities. So now, again, the fact that he reinforced this by saying he's boasting about his negotiating abilities, this just tells me that this was nothing more than a tactic to attempt to try to enforce the NATO allies to pay their dues. Now, here goes my question to everybody watching this. How many of you guys know what the NATO dues are? I don't know what they are. Is there like some type of annual fee, a membership fee? We talking like Planet Fitness here or what? What's going on with the fees of NATO? There's a membership fee. Somebody let me know something. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you attack us or will you protect us? Trump said, I said, you didn't pay. You're delinquent, he said. Yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they wanted. Now, that sounds, very interesting, right? Here goes my question for you guys. So countries have to pay 2% of their GDPs to get into NATO. How many of those countries do you think are paying that 2% to get into the GDPs or to get into NATO, to pay to remain in NATO? How many countries are actually paying that? How many countries owe us money? How many countries y'all think owe us money? And do you all think that it hurts the United States to continue to back the NATO countries if they're not paying their fair share? Do you think that helps us, or do you guys think that that hurts us? Let me know in the comment section. And also, real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. We got 29 people watching and we got 32 likes. If we can get that to 50, that'd be great. It's not clear if the conversation ever happened or if Trump intended to follow through on the threat. Now, how many people think that Trump would follow through on this? I think that he would say it until he's blue in the face. Follow through on it? Nah, I don't think so. Yeah, facts. That's exactly what Trump was saying. Pay me what you owe me. NATO better have my money. Pay me what you owe me. Oh, man. And they believed it too. Why do people believe him, man? Haven't anybody picked up on the fact that, like, why do you believe anything that come out of his mouth? Donald Trump is a clinical narcissist and a pathological liar. And people still like the thing that gets people wrapped up into Trump is that he'll say the most outlandish stuff. He has very little history of following through on any of the insanity that he says, but they still believe it. Shout out to Al. What's good with it, bro? Like people haven't learned yet. Just don't take it at face value. Yeah, I agree. If you guys agree with Katsy, give me a thumbs up. Katsy said, I'm not saying we should be in NATO. I'm saying that publicly bragging about letting Russia have their way is dangerous. Putin will use that. Not that he needs an excuse. Now, here's my question. How would Putin ever find out what countries owe the United States what as far as NATO goes? How would Putin ever get the information of what particular countries in NATO owe the United States versus what countries don't? Haley and Trump will face off in the South Carolina primary on February 24th, where Trump, the clear GOP frontrunner, looks to defeat Haley in her home state and notch his fourth consecutive primary or caucus run. All right. So as you guys know, we will definitely be covering that. And pretty sure we got our predictions here. If you're watching on a replay, please make sure you guys leave your prediction in the comment section. Do you all think that Trump will beat Nikki Haley in South Carolina? If you guys think that he will, give me a thumbs up. If you guys think that he won't, then give me a thumbs down. All right. So there's a video on here, and it's Nikki Haley whining on Fox News. We're going to check it out real quick. See exactly what she said in her rant. See, give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see. Yeah, we just need to let this ad run real quick. Let me see. They make it so difficult. Shout out to you, Law. What's good with it? Shout out to Lloyd's, or shout out to DeAndre for being a like enforcer. I appreciate it. All right, let's see. Hold on real quick. Let's see. Wait a minute. Oh, why is it running 2 ads? The hell? Okay.
She brought her husband. She comes over to see me at Mar-a-Lago. Sir, I will never run against you. She brought her husband. Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband?
I told you he'd do it just like that. He'll start screaming because that's what Trump does. He'll say it real calm at first, and then he'll just start screaming it, and then he'll get real calm again.
She comes over to see me at Mar-a-Lago. Sir, I will never run against you. She brought her husband. Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone.
It's disgusting. I mean, every bit of it's disgusting.
Oh man, these people crazy, man. Oh man, this dude is out of pocket, man. This dude is out of pocket, man.
You know, to sit there and mock my husband for not being with me on the presidential trail because he is deployed and serving our country. You mock
the king. Look,
you're mocking
Cassie. That's why he got the crown. That's why he got the crown on in the channel art. That's why he got the crown. Look at the corner up there. That's why he got the crown on. And the blunt in his mouth. Because he's bluntly the king of projection. And Nikki Haley is just, she's just, why would, I get it. I get it. But why would you respond to this? See, if you don't play into this, it will make Trump just completely irrelevant if you don't play into it. Because the way that a person like Trump controls you is by getting you wrapped up into the madness. And see, and Trump got her. He's got her wrapped around his finger. You know what I'm saying?
all veterans. But this is a pattern, Dana. He's done this over and over again. Whether he went and calls military members suckers, whether he was at Arlington Cemetery saying what was in it for them, why would they do this? The problem with Trump is he's never been anywhere near a uniform. He apparently had some sort of foot reason that he says he couldn't do that. But the reality is the closest he's come to harm's way is a golf ball hitting him on a golf cart.
It just didn't work. It just didn't work. Shout out to TSP. TSP said the thumbnail is on point. You know I'm a perfectionist. 45 claimed that he had bone spurs. You know he just told him anything. I bet you he ain't even go to the doctor. He just told him anything. I've got bone spurs in my feet. I'm the most patriotic man in America, and I can't fight in the military. I guarantee you, then he made it their fault. I'm the most patriotic man in the military, but the military won't let me fight because my feet are messed up. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hilarious, yet unbelievable. It's funny. I'm telling you, it's comedy to sit back and watch a narcissist work. It is not fun to be being worked on by a narcissist. Unless you're Nikki Haley, who's another narcissist that's just completely oblivious, like the other narcissist that's messing with you.
And then when it comes to national security, we should do whatever it takes to prevent war. That's what it comes down to, prevent war. And last night, Trump said the most irresponsible thing. He said, any country in NATO that doesn't pay their fair share, I'm going to encourage Russia to go in and invade them. Now, let me tell you something. I dealt with Russia every single day at the United Nations.
I want y'all to understand what's going on here. Trump has Nikki Haley going around repeating insanity that Trump said. So it looks like Nikki Haley is the one saying this stuff. She's going to people, pleading to people. He's going to turn these countries over to NATO, or he's going to turn these countries over to Putin and let Putin attack them. And everybody's like, I hear you, but literally nobody's going to do that. Shout out to Carlton. What's good with it, Carlton? Shout out to Katsy. Katsy said, I would have said something about his wife running so far away from him that he had to hire Alina Habba to follow him around at the cost of $83 million. She should have definitely, there's plenty of clapbacks she could have did. Plenty of Trump has see, the thing is that Trump says stuff that gets people so stuck on what he said, they don't even like respond back with an actual like personal attack on him. Like Trump will be like, and her husband hasn't touched her in years. She'll go around telling the country, and we hug each other and sit on the couch and hold hands every night. Why are you still talking about that? Like, why are you wasting your campaign time talking about that? Literally nobody cares. But you've latched on to craziness, and now you're trying to disprove craziness. And in trying to disprove craziness, you look crazy. Literally nobody's going to let Putin attack any of those NATO countries. That's just not going to happen. It don't matter if Trump says it or not. It's just, we all know that's not going to happen. Let me ask you guys a question. What would be a better strategy for Nikki Haley to counter every insane thing that Trump says or every insult that Trump says, or to tell people a 5-point plan that she plans to use if she gets elected to close the border and to decrease immigration by a cumulative 10% every year? Which one would which one would get people's attention more? Her responding to Trump madness or her 5-point border plan? Oh yeah, the thing is that if she had clapback game, then both would be, that both would be an option, right? But her clapback game is weak. She sit up there talking about a golf cart and foot spurs. Like, come on. Why don't you sit up there and talk about how, like, you're sitting up there talking about a relationship and you just had to pay somebody like $85 million for being inappropriate? Shout out to PD that remains. What's good with it, bro? You know what I'm saying? She ain't got no clapback game. She basic.
Putin kills his opponents. He invades free countries. This is not someone you ever want to pal around with. And you certainly don't want to give them the right to invade a friend. I am all for making NATO pay their fair share. But the reason that has been the most successful organization in 75 years is because Russia's never invaded a NATO country. They know that together we're united. And they know together they can't touch us. So this is about getting things straight. And when you look at the difference between me and Donald Trump, he surrounded himself by the Washington, D.C. elite. All those congressional members. You can look at all of them.
So now she said that now let me ask y'all this. How do y'all feel about what she's saying here? She said that Trump surrounded himself by the Washington, D.C. elite. I'm assuming, implying she's trying to imply that she didn't or doesn't. Really? Not your strongest argument. I don't think that that's Nikki Haley's best selling point. Oh, I didn't pile around with the elites. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would try to convince people of that if I was her. Exactly. Exactly. She does too. Make it make sense.
Surrounding him, singing his praises. Do you know why that is? They're not going to do that for me because I want term limits in Washington, D.C.
They're doing that for you now. And if you became president, you would not enforce term limits. If anything, like here's Nikki Haley's idea of enforcing term limits. The maximum sentence that you can serve is 975 years. That's how Nikki would enforce quote unquote term limits. And then she'd be like, see, I put limits on terms. Now it's not just unlimited. That's what they do. Politicians do stuff like that. Do y'all agree? If y'all agree they would do something ridiculous like that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that they'd do something ridiculous like that, then give me a thumbs down. I'm laughing at this comment. I want you guys to hear me out. I want y'all to go check out this comment over on BLR2. All right, check this out. We taking a break, a pause for our sponsor, if you may. How many of y'all saw the picture of the police officers in New York City getting waxed? And I asked the question about where's all the tough guys like Daniel Penny who can choke out somebody on a subway to help the police, but none of them were around. So there's somebody in the comment section that literally thought that I was actually asking that, like, where was anybody to help? They said, you do realize that life isn't a cartoon, right? 99 times out of 100, there are no vigilante heroes randomly passing by crime scenes. Let me ask you guys a question. Was Daniel Penny near a crime scene or around one? What I'm saying is that if you're so emboldened to just delete a black person because you know you'll get paid $1 million by Ron DeSantis, why didn't you help these migrants? Or why didn't you help these police officers? Shout out to Carla. That's what I'm saying. Law-abiding citizens will no longer be sticking out their necks because they realize America is under deliberate demolition. There's no such thing as law-abiding citizens. There's a lot of degenerates. And there's people who are here against their will. This dude actually, whoever this low IQ moron was, they actually thought that I was asking, why didn't the Daniel Penny come and help the migrants? The Daniel Pennies didn't come and help the migrants or didn't come and help the police officers because they're cowards. Daniel Penny is a thug that got paid by another thug to assassinate a black man who had not committed a crime. Because these cowards know that as of right now, there's no consequences for them to be able to do that. Now, Daniel Penny and everybody like Daniel Penny should have went up and helped those New York Police Department officers if they so big and bad. But they're not big and bad. They the same way that they always did. That's why Torians say that they are their ancestors. Their ancestors were the same way. You're everything when you got a gun in your hand. You want to be somebody's best friend when you don't have a gun in your hand. But when you do got the gun in your hand, you think that you run the world. And that's why it's most important to either make sure that you have an equalizer yourself or to make sure that you have things that can create unequalized situations that tilt them in your advantage. Let me ask y'all this question. What crime did Daniel Penny commit? These people actually think that Daniel Penny, like, some type of Captain America or something like that. What crime did he stop from happening? I know which one he did. But what crime in progress did Daniel Penny stop from occurring when he deleted Jordan Neely on that subway? The way that they fantasize to do to all of us. What crime did he prevent by doing that? What crime was in progress that he stopped? A black man being alive is the first crime. But aside from that, what was the act that Daniel Penny stopped? Who was in danger that Daniel Penny saved? Now, here's the thing, Cassie. He was having a mental health breakdown, and the laws in New York City say that police can just take you right off the street if you're having a mental health breakdown. And in New York City, on the train, they got transit police that if they saw a threat, they could have just got him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? People have mental health issues, allegedly, every day. Some people even have mental health issues that end up in their families being killed. The entire family. The entire family. Mom, dad, brother. Mental health issue. And yet somehow those people end up alive and no one comes up behind them and puts them in a headlock and chokes them to death. But the whole family gone, no. Know what I'm saying?
They're not going to do that for me because I've said they need to take mental competency tests for anyone over the age of 75. They're not going to do that for me because I've said no member of Congress should be able to trade in the stock market because they have extra information they shouldn't have. And Congress has...
Isn't she right now currently on the board of Boeing? Let me know in the comment section if she is indeed currently a sitting member of the board of Boeing. Give me a thumbs up. If she's not, then give me a thumbs down. And real quick, shout out to you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys watching. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. We got 36 people watching and we got 38 likes. Let's try to get it to 50. If you guys haven't shared the stream, take a moment, share the stream to your social media. Also, if you haven't subscribed, take a moment, hit the bell icon twice. And also make sure you follow M.A.G.A.TRON 645 on Twitter and join the Discord. The link is in the chat.
One job, and that's to give us a budget on time. Do you know they've only given us a budget on time 4 times in 40 years? You know how we'll deal with that? You don't give us a budget on time, you don't get paid, period. So I don't want the Washington elite. I don't ask for the Washington elite.
Thank you for cutting her off right in the middle. That was perfect. They couldn't have done it no better. You think they did that on purpose? If you guys think that they did that on purpose, let me know. I think they did it on purpose. They knew right when to cut it. They said cut it. She talking way too much. They need to cut it. She talking way too much. They need to cut it. Trump says he would encourage Russia to attack NATO allies who didn't pay up. White House blasts former president's comments as appalling and unhinged. While the White House is blasting President Trump for these comments, his voter base, that just, I mean, it's crazy how much the voter base loves Trump. It's crazy. The voter base, they don't care nothing about that. They cheering, they happy, they yelling, they screaming. They bringing their dogs to the rally. Ah, Trump, ah, he told him right, brother. Make those fuckers pay. It's good. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like nothing that Washington said. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Yeah, facts. I agree with Cassie. It's because they don't understand the laws, and they don't care to either. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care. Trump got the biggest troll army in the world. Like, he has an entire countrywide troll army. Like, can't say that's not impressive. I'd be sitting up here lying if I said that wasn't impressive. Shit, I wish I had a countrywide troll army. Maybe one day I'll have one. You know what I'm saying? Sheesh. Former U.S. President Donald Trump on Saturday said he would encourage Russia to attack any NATO member country that didn't meet its financial obligations to the defense alliance in remarks that the White House repudiated as appalling and unhinged. This guy unhinged? No way. They got to be talking about somebody else. There have been growing worries in Europe over the reliability of the decades-old U.S. commitment to European security. Why do we have a commitment to European security? Ooh, this is a good question. Why Europe? Where's the U.S. commitment to African security? I bet you how U.S. implements their commitment to European security, I bet you it looks very different than what a U.S. commitment for quote-unquote African security would look like. I bet you it looks very different. How many of you all knew that the United States had this type of thing going on here? A U.S. commitment to European security. Why does that exist? We're not even committed to our own security at the southern border. – Okay. Highlighted by the partisan gridlock in Washington over a crucial aid package to U.S. ally Ukraine. But Trump's words are forcing Europeans to seriously consider an end to the transatlantic alliance. Now, do you guys think that that's what Trump intended to do? Because remember, Trump has been wanting us to get out of the NATO for a while. So Trump sees it like we can do like this. We can pull out. Pause. But I'm probably not going to be able to do that because I'm going to have resistance. Or I can make it so unappealing that it'll just fall apart. Either way, I get what I want. Us out of NATO. And I don't think he cares about the fallout. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he cares. You know. Anything that Trump does, even if it's something that backfires horribly, he'll brag about it like it's the best thing that happened in the entire world. So that'll just be something else that he'll brag about. We could have some type of horrible fallout happen as a result of NATO being broken up. Trump will brag about it. And I got us out of NATO. And he'll brag about it because it's just something that he wanted to do. And he accomplished it. So that's the reason why it should be bragged about. Not because of any functional reason or anything like that. Just because he did some shit that he said he was going to do. So, yay me. Yeah, but President Trump. Our military capabilities have weakened 20%. I got us out of NATO. Stop asking questions. I said that I would get us out of NATO. I got us out of NATO. That would be his response. And then when you follow up and ask the question again, he'll make fun of you and say, well, what don't you understand? I got us out of NATO. Because that's how he does. It's hilarious to watch. You know what I'm saying? It's just funny as hell that people just don't know how to deal with it. So now here it says, these are the words of a serious candidate for president, so they should be treated seriously. Polish Deputy Foreign Minister Paweł Zalewski told Politico, if we do that, then it means a change to the logic of the U.S. presence in NATO is very worrying. He correctly calls on member countries to spend more on defense, but he also calls on Russia to attack. This is completely incomprehensible. I'm not trying to be funny, but it's like some extortion type stuff. Pay up or else Russia coming. Yeah, I would agree with that, Katsy. If you guys agree with Katsy, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. He doesn't think ahead. He's reactionary. Yeah, he's absolutely reactionary. He also just operates off of reflex too. He don't really like think anything through. He just, something happens, he immediately responds with whatever is the first thing on his mind, and then just completely justifies it with nonsense until he just beats you down with repeated nonsense till you just accept it. Like that's what he does. Now, all of these negative things that I've said about Trump, somehow we have somebody in office right now that's worse. Make it make sense. Exactly. Running an extortion racket. Good cop, bad cop. Oh yeah, Trump a big time narcissist. Big time narcissist. Speaking at a campaign rally in South Carolina, Trump said that while president, he told NATO leaders that he would encourage Russia to do whatever the hell they want to alliance members that are delinquent in meeting the group's spending targets. Now, let me ask y'all this. How many people think that it's realistic that Trump will just grab a sheet of notebook paper and write down all the countries that haven't paid their monthly NATO fee and just slip it to Putin under the door at the Kremlin? Here's who didn't pay this month. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter that Trump said that. That's not going to happen. He's not going to do that. Literally, nobody's going to do that. Nobody is going to use Russia as the bill collector. No one's going to do that. Speaking at a campaign rally in South Carolina, Trump said that while president, he told NATO leaders that he would encourage Russia to do whatever the hell they want to alliance members that are delinquent in meeting the group's spending targets. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? Now, my question, why didn't these countries say, what can we do to facilitate ease of payment? I want y'all to pay very close attention. Like these countries, they shouldn't be off the hook neither, because to me, like, the fact that they're asking about the consequences of not paying shows that they really have a legitimate intent to pay? I really don't think that most of these NATO companies or countries these European NATO countries, I don't think they really have an intention on paying. I think that they are just there for the free gifts. So now here it says these remarks seem to suggest Trump, the frontrunner for the Republican presidential nomination, might not abide by NATO's collective defense clause for members that haven't paid enough. But now here's my thing. What makes you not be a member? How many months are you allowed to not pay before your membership gets revoked? What if you just don't pay for 10 years? Should you still be able to be protected? Shout out to Katsy. Katsy says the question is, can they afford 2% of the GDP? My question is, can we afford to be paid 2% of the GDP? Some of those countries don't make a lot of money. I don't care if they can't afford to pay it. Pay it. Write out a loan on your treasury. Print up some money. I don't care. Give me the money. If I'm giving you $15 billion in military aid and your country's GDP is $2 billion, I don't want to hear it. I guess we just own the country then. Your country is ours. But that's me. I'm saying this. I want to know if we can afford 2% of those little tiny European countries like Greece and Estonia. You know what I'm saying? Little Balkan countries that don't really make a lot of money. And we're giving them probably way more in military aid than their GDPs. And they're only paying 2%. And how do we know that they're reporting it accurately? Let me ask you guys something. When you guys file your taxes, do you all file your taxes to make the after tax amount seem like it's more, or do you guys try to calculate the minimum taxable amount? What do y'all calculate when paying your income tax? The maximum taxable amount or the minimum taxable amount? I think that's a good question. I think that all these are good questions. I think that all of these are good questions that none of us will ever get an answer to. Right. Shout out to Katsy. Katsy says, we have agreements with a lot of these countries, military bases, trade agreements. Maybe if they can't pay 2%, we take it in resources. But that would still be paying 2%, right? Like what I can't get in cash, I get in whatever that adds up to 2%. So that would mean that you're still getting 2%. My question is, that 2% is going to change across each country. Germany probably has a very different economy than some little Eastern European country, right? So my thing is the 2% worth it for us? That's my question. What's if you did a cost benefit analysis on all of these 2% that we get? Are they all beneficial, or do some of them end up becoming a detriment? That's the question. Trump's comments were roundly criticized by officials across Europe. Any suggestion that allies will not defend each other undermines all of our security, including that of the U.S., and puts the Americans and European soldiers at increased risk. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said, I expect the U.S. to remain a strong, devoted ally of NATO, whoever wins the presidential election. Now, here's my thing. Why didn't NATO say anything about how they're going to pay more efficiently? Because the United States is owed its money. What do you guys think about that? So now here it says European Council President Charles Michel called Trump's remarks reckless and said they, quote unquote, serve only Putin's interest. Germany's foreign ministry said all for one and one for all and all for one. This NATO creed keeps more than 950 million people safe. The White House also blasted the comments as endangering security and stability. Encouraging invasions of our closest allies by murderous regimes is appalling and unhinged, and it endangers American national security, global stability, and our economy at home, White House spokesperson Andrew Bates said in the statement. Now, what we have to start understanding is that when it comes to the mainstream media and when it comes to people in the population at large, people in the population at large believe that Europe is the international community. They literally don't care about anybody else. Literally, people believe that only Europe, the UK, Germany, France, they literally believe that that's the international community. You know what I'm saying? they see China and Russia as enemies, and they don't even acknowledge that Africa has a human population. Would you guys agree? That's what we're dealing with. That's the level of gaslighting here in the United States that we have to deal with. None of these issues are ever addressed. The only thing that they look at non-European countries for is where they can extort assets or people from if necessary. That's it. Those countries are not looked at as part of the international decision-making community. When it comes to the international decision-making community, all white countries, minus Russia, which what people don't understand is that Russia's not a white country. They have a white president, Vladimir Putin. You know what I'm saying? Vladimir Putin is the white guy that happens to run Russia. Russia's not a white country. Russia's an Asian country. There's some Western Russian people that, share some features with some Eastern European people, some Slavic people, and some Southwestern Russians that share some features with some, Arabs. But for the most part, the Russians that you don't see on TV, you can't tell them the difference between them, Chinese people, and North Koreans. And it, just so happens that they share borders with those countries too. So the only time that these European countries actually consider Russia or try to portray Russia as white is when they're glazing Putin, when they're upset with the United States government, so they try to just gaslight and glaze Putin. Or when they show the relative scale of the size of the world that actually shows that Europe is like not even maybe 15% of the actual planet. They have to get Russia's landmass to try to make it look like there's this artificial giant white majority that there's not. Because there's not even a white majority in actual Russia. You know what I'm saying? If you look at a map that has continents on it, Russia is in the Asian part. You know what I'm saying? This is the propaganda, the false propaganda to make a certain group of people comfortable here in the United States, that the United States even just falsely talks about other countries. You know what I'm saying? There's, we got to make the people feel comfortable. That's what it's about. A political report last month revealed that Trump told European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in 2020 that the U.S. wouldn't come defend Europe if it was attacked. Trump alleged NATO countries subsequently spent billions and billions of dollars on their defenses in wake of his threat, a claim that has not yet been substantiated because Trump is the king of gaslighting. Like, he said it, and then he said they were so scared they just did exactly what I told them to do. Okay, Trump. Trump's remarks come as the Biden administration and Republicans in U.S. Congress remain at odds over a $95.3 billion military aid package, $60 billion of which is for Ukraine in its defense against Russia's invasion. So what does that leave the other $35.3 billion for? Yeah, I was about to say, Al, I think if you actually look it up, I think Africa is actually the largest continent on the planet. Let me see. They claim that it's Asia, but I'm pretty sure back in the day, if you look at some dated material, it used to be Africa. All of the projections of the map, the one that we look at the most, the flat map, is called the Asmiro projection. That's inaccurate for everything. It literally shows Iceland as like one of the, or no, it shows Greenland as damn near larger than the United States. Let's see. Hold on real quick. Yeah, they want Asia to be the largest. Now, see, I'll tell you how they make Asia the largest, though. The way that they make Asia the largest is that they combine Asia with Europe. And then they'll turn around and combine the Middle East with Europe. And they'll keep changing stuff. And then they'll take Egypt out of Africa and combine it with the Middle East. Like they just do all kind of stuff like that, which is one of the reasons why it's so important to make sure that you keep track of like all that stuff. Print it out, get screenshots like all the time, because they'll change it all the time. And then as soon as you prove them wrong, they'll just keep saying that. They'll just repeat that you're woke and hope that you stop saying anything. You know what I'm saying? So now here says Stoltenberg on Saturday warned about Russian President Vladimir Putin's belligerence and its implications for the continent. If Putin wins in Ukraine, there is no guarantee that Russian aggression will not spread to other countries. So now remember, what Russian aggression looks like is Russia not having any military bases in the Western Hemisphere and being totally surrounded by NATO. That's what Russian aggression looks like. So just imagine, right? Just imagine this. Imagine I had all of my soldiers surrounding your house, pointing guns at you, and then I came out of the house and knocked a gun out of one of their hands, and they said we gotta manage Robb's aggression. That's basically what they talking about in over there, you know what I'm saying, in Russia. Russian aggression. Because Russia's surrounded by all sides to the west by NATO, which is not supposed to be like that according to the agreement. And then you got people inviting Ukraine into Russia, or into the NATO, which is also part of the agreement. That's not supposed to happen. Make it make sense. Russian aggression. What does Russian aggression look like? Stoltenberg said in an interview with German newspaper Welt am Sonntag, we have to prepare ourselves for a confrontation that could last decades. So you guys remember on BLR1 when we talked about that, people should be prepared for a confrontation with Russia in 20 years. You guys remember when we talked about that on BLR1? If you guys remember that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't remember that, give me a thumbs down. Trump's comments also show a misunderstanding of how NATO functions. There is no centralized budget that countries pay into. Rather, Each country pays for its own defense with an alliance-wide commitment to spend at the least 2% of its GDP by this year. This is a weird picture with Macron and Trump holding hands. You know what I'm saying? 11 countries in the 31-member alliance will reach that target this year. Only 11 countries, which means that 20 countries, damn near 2/3, won't reach it. Poland is NATO's top spender with a total of 4.2% of the GDP going on to the military. What do Poland even be doing? I don't be hearing about Poland, really nothing going on over there too much. The most that I heard about going on in Poland is that O'Shea Duke Jackson was over there and that they was friendly to the Ukrainian people that was trying to get away from the war. That's about it. I ain't really heard nothing else about Poland. Y'all heard anything about Poland? I don't know too much about Poland. They spending a lot of money on some military defense, though, so, you know. I guess they ain't got nothing to worry about. I hope it wasn't them that was sitting up there talking the most crap, because if you spending the money, I don't know what you would be worried about. So, yeah, so M.A.G.A.TRON basically said he's going to point his arm cannon at NATO and destroy it. He's going to transform into a gun. You know what I'm saying? It's going to go into Soundwave's hand, and Soundwave going to shoot it at NATO if they don't pay up. See, he looking real crazy in this picture. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this right here. Spend more on defense, or I'll let Russia do whatever the hell they want. Man, that's wild. Man, that's just wild, man. Shout out to Carla. What's good with it, Carla? That's wild, man. That's wild. I think we got the picture. You know what I'm saying? I think we've exhausted that topic. Let me know what you guys think. Is Trump right? Should he be enforcing the NATO bill collection? Did he go too far enforcing it like that? Let me know in the comment section. Before you go, make sure you guys follow M.A.G.A.TRON 645 on Twitter. Make sure you guys join the Discord if you're not a part of it. Make sure you hit that bell icon twice. Make sure you guys check out the replays and leave comments. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hopefully, if I got time, I'll be back with some more content a little bit later on. I'm going to try to get some videos up. If not, I'm going to do a stream or two. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,